We walk with God and we talk with Him and interact with Him about things in our lives, asking Him questions, making requests for particular things. There are times when we have to wait. And sometimes that waiting period can be a difficult time. Sometimes it can be a very stressful time. Sometimes it can be a time where we start doing things maybe out of step, trying to get ahead of God. And the psalmist here talks about some of the attitudes that we need to have as we wait on God to respond to us. And again, it's not that God isn't going to respond. Sometimes there's an issue as far as getting us prepared for what He wants to do and how He wants to do it in our lives, and we're not yet ready to receive that which we're asking Him for, or the place that He wants to direct us to or place us in. And so He's having to do things within us to get us prepared and ready, and that process and that time is a waiting period. Sometimes it can be a short waiting period. Other times it can be a very long waiting period. I mean, Joseph started out as a young man having dreams of his ultimate destiny, but it would be many, many years before that would ever be fulfilled. He was going to have to wait on God to get him prepared and all of the things that he would have to go through to get him ready for ultimately being one of the most powerful men in the world, ruling from Egypt. Same thing with David. David had to go through an awful lot to get ready to be king. Moses had to go through not only the first 40 years of his life, but an absolute miserable, destitute, barren 40 years in the second half, or I guess you'd say, or the middle of his life, his midlife time from the ages of 40 to about 80, before he was actually prepared and ready by God to do what he was going to do. So it's obvious that a lot of times as we walk with God and we make requests of Him of certain things in our lives, that there's a period of waiting. And you know, it's interesting that the psalmist here in verse 7, he says to rest in the Lord and to wait patiently for Him. Now, some translators say this word wait needed to be actually a different Hebrew word, but the Hebrew word that's used here is an interesting word. When you read the word wait, I mean, we think of having to stand around kind of, patiently enduring time as it passes, waiting for something to happen. But the term here is actually a term that means to dance, whirl about in agony. It has to do with pain. It has almost been compared to like a woman being in travail, getting ready to give birth. He says, I wait for the Lord. My soul does wait, and in His word do I hope.